January 5th, 1988. Federal Reformatory for Women, Alderson, Summers County, West Virginia. I stood at attention outside my room. 2 male guards, one tall and slender, the other medium-sized and mean-faced, walked through the cottage where I was housed with 50 other women. I eyed the guards as they passed each room and dorm and started walking toward me, their eyes expectant, confirming what they needed to know, that I was present for the 4 p.m. inmate count. As I waited, my heartbeat quickening and my palms moist with anxious sweat, I looked out the window. It was a gloomy winter afternoon. Puffy clouds blocked the sun from the sprawling campus. When the guards passed me and moved to the next cottage, I knew it was only a matter of time before they finished the count and sent the status report up the chain of command. After the guards confirmed they were not short inmates in the hours since the last count, it was back to business as usual. Buzz, the horn, sounded, notifying everyone the head count was successful, and now it was time to head to the dining hall for dinner. But for me, that meant it was game on. I exhaled deeply to slow my breathing and dried my hands at my sides. I needed to be in control, smooth, and confident. She won't even bring my boy to see me. What kind of shit is that? You volunteer to keep him and then you don't even bring him here for 6 months? Where's his daddy? Can't he bring the boy? That fool's locked up too, part of the reason I'm here. Mama, that's all of us. The other inmates in my cottage chit-chatted as they gathered to rush the dining hall to feast on what passed for food before it had been picked over. The food at Alderson wasn't too bad, but it wasn't Mr. Chow either. I nodded, pretending I was interested in somebody's child, but hardly listened. When they started heading toward the dining hall, I stood back and looked to see if any eyes were on me. No one was paying attention, so I peeled off from the group and cut over to the administration building to the left of my cottage. I slid into a cracked metal door and froze against a wall. It was an aging brick building with murky, sand-colored tiles covering the floors and walls. I listened and watched to make sure no one was around. By then, all hands were on deck in the dining hall as guards policed the inmates to put down inevitable mealtime skirmishes. I expected the building to be empty, but I was unsure. I waited a few more seconds in case there was a straggler running behind. There could be no mistakes, not today. When all was clear, I dashed into the bathroom, locked the door, and rushed to the last stall. I looked beside the toilet, and a bulky black bag was on the floor. Yes, it's here. With a sigh of relief, I opened it and started pulling things out. A conservative blue blazer, a knee-length black skirt, a crisp white blouse, pumps, a briefcase, tortoiseshell glasses, and coral lipstick. I slid out of my inmate uniform and stashed it in the bag. Everything fit perfectly. But when I slid my feet into the shoes, I quickly realized they were too small. When I had entered Alderson, I was a size 10, but now I could have used an 11. Still, I crammed my big feet into those tight, pointed-toe pumps. They had to do. Adrenaline flooded my veins. I rushed to the mirror, raked my hair into a bun, put on the lipstick, slid the glasses onto my nose, and picked up the briefcase. I stepped back and peered at my reflection. I was 2 years shy of 30, but I still looked like I was in my early 20s. I had my mother's smooth brown skin and my father's purposeful chestnut eyes. In those clothes with the bright lipstick on, it looked like I was already coming back to life, changing, melting away invisible layers of sorrow and confinement. When I opened the bathroom door, it was showtime. I had a part to play.